health treatment facility, so that's our forensic state hospitals. And let me backtrack a little bit, but so say a person has a felon charge, they have a mental illness or intellectual disability or dementia or autism, they're evaluated. The evaluation indicates that they are incompetent to proceed due to that disability. They have to have at least one evaluation that indicates that they are incompetent. Many have 2, 3, 4, I've seen 7 on one person, because that usually is like, oh, the defense will order it, then the state will order a counter one because they don't think that person's incompetent, then they'll go back and forth. And that may be how that happens. So the evaluation, we're going to go over what the evaluations have to have in them, but typically the evaluations need to indicate whether that person should be admitted to a state hospital, or they can be let out to the community on conditional lease with treatment, or they can do jail competency restoration. This is the criteria for involuntary commitment to a state mental health treatment facility. And I also want to talk a little bit about Developmental Disability Defendant Program, DDDP. Say that 5 times. DDDP. Anyway, because that is our sister system, DCF and Agency for Persons with Disabilities. Agency for Person with Disability governs DDDP, and that is the system for individuals that are ITP due to intellectual disability or autism. Okay, it's important to keep that in mind because you'll probably see some cases that are that way, and we need your help to try to get them in the right system so they can get the appropriate treatment that they need. So a defendant who is charged with a felony is found to be ITP pursuant to Chapter 916.13 may be involuntary committed for training upon finding by the court the following. So involuntary committed or even conditional release folks that are ITP, the treatment is designed around getting them competent. So it is not like this holistic treatment, we hope it is, but legally the treatment has to be designed to get them competent. And what are they stuck in? So it's really training. The defendant has a mental illness or intellectual disability, and because of that condition, so intellectual disability, mental illness, they cannot be ITP due to substance use, so keep that in mind. The defendant is incapable, of surviving alone without treatment. There is likelihood that in the near future the defendant will inflict harm on himself or others due to his recent behavior. So those two sound like what? Sound like Baker Act, kind of. All available restrictive treatment alternatives, including treatment in the community, have been judged to be inappropriate. So there's nothing available for this person. There's a probability that the mental illness or intellectual disability causing the defendant's incompetence will respond to treatment or training, and the defendant will regain competence to proceed in the foreseeable future. That means they have to have the ability to be restored. So think about cases with dementia. The evaluation has to indicate what kind of treatment would that be that they would be restorable. Okay? There's more. I think. Let me see. All right. So the ITP commitments to the state hospital, we at headquarters get a packet for all of those that are committed to or ordered to be committed to the state hospital. And the packet includes the identifying issue, and that is your arrest report, your appointed experts, and that's the evaluations. The evaluations have to include competency criteria, commitment criteria, which is danger to self and others, and all other alternatives have been explored. The order is based on clear and convincing evidence. So we have to be satisfied that this is a committable person. And so we do. We look over all the packets, and we really concentrate on packets for individuals that are charged with third-degree nonviolent felons. Because we want to make sure that all treatment alternatives have been explored, because those are folks that may be diverted. And we try to divert those because really state hospital, and raise your hand if you've been to state hospital to visit. Cool. So if you've been to the state hospitals, you probably see they should be the last resort. They are the last resort treatment because why? Why? You're like,
the environment.
huh?
Is it the environment?
The environment, maybe elaborate on that.
I'm not sure how conducive it is to really treating someone because of the severity of people right there.
Yeah, so it's like a
It kind of feels like that.
Yeah, so especially the admission units and the forensic. So, and the person's taken there voluntarily. I mean, we don't really want that because it's traumatic. You know what I mean? We'd rather have a softer treatment because it's better for the person, right? It's better for their recovery. And yeah, state hospital is treatment, they'll get treatment. But we'd rather it go down a different way if possible, right? So it's a last resort. Folks are taken there, they're transported in handcuffs in a vehicle, and they're in a lockdown admission unit. And we try to, if they're not violent and they're doing okay, we try to get them in a less restrictive even in the state hospital. But if they don't really need to go, then we try to get them into community treatment or competency in the jail. So we have 15 days when we receive that packet to get them in the state hospital and schedule them. During this 15 days, we review all the nonviolent felon packets, and we try to divert them. So you may have seen some of the emails coming out to try to divert people, and that's what that is. We've diverted about 10 or 15% of the packets that we've flagged. So it's a little bit, we're able to do some. The competency evaluations, so these are the community experts that are doing the evaluations. The community experts in Florida typically are psychologists, psychiatrists that have been through the forensic evaluator training by the University of South Florida at the Florida Mental Health Institute. And once they finish that training, we put them on a list, and we send that list out to all of the court circuits and the state attorneys and the public defenders. So they have lists. There's thousands on that list. Do they all practice? Probably not. And I am in charge of the list, and I can't take anybody off unless they personally tell me to take them off the list. So if you ever need that list for your circuit, I'd be happy to give it to you. And let's see. So the evaluation should include, does the person have a mental illness or intellectual disability? Because, why? we need to know what system to put them in. They typically need to address the 6 competency because we need to know what to work on. But sometimes we get some, and it's okay, like sometimes the person's so sick, it's really evident that they don't meet any of them. So they don't really have to like, oh, no. So, what is the mental illness causing the incompetence? Like they may have a mental illness, a diagnosis, but is it causing the incompetence? The treatment recommendation, the treatment designed to restore competency, an explanation of treatment alternatives. So they have to, the evaluators are supposed to explore alternatives that are in their areas that the person may go to. And those aren't good. The availability of the treatment. So say they think the person needs fact team, but there's no fact team in that area, like Levy County. Is there fact team? No fact team in Levy. So the availability, the likelihood of attaining competence. Are they likely to gain competency? The probable duration of the treatment required to restore competency. So how long will it take? Probability of attaining competency in the near future. And that's per the statute. So near future is up to interpretation for sure. But, so sometimes evaluators will put like, okay, well, there's a 30% chance that their competency will be restored, and it will take 3 months if you do these things. So, all right, let's see. There's more. They should include the commitment criteria. So commitment to a state hospital, which is incapable of surviving alone or with existing services, or a likelihood that in the near future the client will inflict serious bodily harm. Now, inflict serious bodily harm, so that's like, what is that? Like I'm gonna beat you up, you know. So bodily harm, I've had a couple cases this year where they were found dangerous due to financial harm, and I'm like, no, because they were like stealing credit cards and stuff. I'm like, no, I don't know, I think we should probably fight these too. So it has to be bodily harm. All less restrictive treatment or inappropriate, the mental illness, intellectual disability causing incompetence will respond to treatment and training, and the client will regain competency. So they have to be restorable, right? Okay. You guys need a little break? No? Good, because we're